is not original. I didn't write it. I would think that most of you have heard it before. It may take you back years. It is one that I tell at scout camp. I told thousands of young men over 5 years of Beaver High Adventure Days this story. It's a story about a man that made a promise to a friend, and what he had to do to keep that promise. The words are by Robert Service. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. There are the trails have their secret tales that make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. And why he left his home in the South to roam around the pole, heaven only knows. He was always cold, but the land of the gold seemed to hold him like a spell. Though he'd often say in his homely way, he'd rather live in hell. It was Christmas Day. We were mushing our way along the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold through the parka's fold is stabbed like a driven nail. If her eyes would close, then the lashes froze, till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, the dogs were fed and the stars danced overhead, heel and toe, he turned to me and, Captain, he says, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he said with a sort of a moan, it's this cursed cold. And it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through the bone. It ain't being dead, it's the awful dread of an icy grave that pains. And I'm asking you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains. Well, a pal's last need is a thing to heed. I swore I would not fail. We started on at the crack of dawn. My, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day about his home back in Tennessee. Before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of the death, and I hurried horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise I'd given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, you may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate my last remains. Well, a promise made is a debt unpaid. The trail has its own stern code. And in the days to come, though my lips were numb, in my heart I cursed that load. And in the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies around in a ring hauled out their woes to the homeless snows, in my heart I cursed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. But on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. I felt the trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I'd not give in. I'd often sing to the hateful thing, would hearken with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and there a derelict lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I could see in a thrice it was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought a bit. Then I looked at my frozen chum. Here said I, as in a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found was lying around on a heap of fuel higher. The flames just soared and the furnace roared. Such a blaze you'll seldom see. Then I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal and stuffed in Sam McGee. And then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. The heavens scowled and the huskies howled and the winds began to blow. It's icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks. Know not why, but the greasy smoke and the inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grizzled fear. The stars came out and danced about. Here again I ventured near. I was sick of dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peek inside. I guess he's cooked. And it's time I looked, and the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm, amid the furnace roar. He wore a smile you could see for a mile. He said, please close the door. You see, it's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, this is the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. The Arctic trails have the secret tales that make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen strange sights, but the strangest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Large I cremated my best friend, Sam McGee. The promise made is a debt unpaid. What debts have you not paid? Good night, gentlemen.